Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm off to the Blackcat radio studio to be a guest on the Ernie Almond show because I will be talking about my radio show on my YouTube channel and, of course, something about the Philippines. And I hope you're going to follow and click this because I've got so much exciting things to share with all the listeners on Blackcat radio today. Mwah. Good morning, everyone. I'm here at the studio to plug my Sunday show to all of you, my dear listeners, an Ernie Almond show, which opens every day from 9 till midday. Ready?
Status quo, what you're proposing. A lot of people run status quo down. I love them because I just think of all bands, they have the ability to get people up and moving, if you see what I mean. Right, I told you the place is absolutely packed, and lo and behold, I am honoured because I've got a late night guest who's turned up in the middle of the day. It's Jess Bermudez. Good morning, Jess.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm so good, thank you. Great to be here and great to listen to your show this very morning because I'm not working today.
No, it makes a change, doesn't it? Now, you've lost your title of the one of being our latest recruit because we've now got Jilly. So you're an old hand now.
I am, but loving it actually.
Yeah. Your show is Sunday evenings. It's very, very different. How do you describe your show to my listeners?
Well, this show is all about love songs, or actually any song which has got a memory to come to it or attached to it. For example, if you have a certain song where it reminded you of an anniversary, of someone very special, so you send me a message, and what I do is I look up for that song and then I share that particular story to the audience. And I'm so glad because I've got so many listeners across the world. I have people who've been like downloading our Blackcat radio app, and they are so amazing because we now can be reached across the world. Isn't that amazing, Ernie?
Absolutely amazing. In fact, I've been in here on a Sunday night, and Steve has noticed when he gets in on first thing on a Monday morning, then the amount of messages that you get from people all over the place asking you to play this and that, and you obviously hit a bit of a nerve with the type of music you're playing.
I think maybe it's kind of a welcome change because I think it's so diversified, because I also play music from the Philippines where I feature artists from my very own home country. Some of them have gone on to record songs at the Billboard, and they were like chart toppers as well, I should say, and I'm so proud of them.
I'm sure you are very proud. They'd be proud of you, I'm sure, with what you've done. In fact, your story should be a book, which we won't go into now because we haven't got time. But when you get onto your Philippine music, people living around the St. Neots area might think, oh, I'm not going to understand it. But in fact, your music in the Philippines, and mainly the pop music, is 90% sung in English, isn't it?
Yes, I think maybe because of the American influence in our country, when they came over to the country after the Second World War, where English became the second national language of the Philippines. That's why wherever you go to the Philippines, it's not a problem to speak to anyone because everyone can speak the language.
Yeah, not only that, they're teaching other nations because to speak English, because the Philippines are doing quite well with teaching other nations to speak English.
Yes, right now it used to be the UK is so popular about teaching English to Koreans and the Chinese. Right now they saved a lot of money by just flying to the Philippines. It's a 2-hour flight and they can learn English from there. So it's such a fascinating kind of what do you call this, contribution to their improvement of learning English, because I think in the Philippines all the schools are just teaching English wherever they are in a spot of our curriculum, because I think our parents said to us that if you master English, your future will be really like great. So a great frontier is ahead of you if you can speak that language.
Right, and I'll tell you what I'm going to ask Jess to do if he has time, because he's got work to do this morning here in the studios, but we'll play some music and get him back, because if we can get it into just a couple of minutes, his story from when he was a young lad to now is quite amazing. Jess, I'll give you a little break now. We'll go for some, we've got to pay the rent, and then we'll have some more music.
That's amazing.
I've got a special guest in the studio at the moment, and he's our Sunday midnight man. Well, leading up to midnight anyway, and that's Jess Bermudez. Jess, I can't let you go without asking you about your story. Is quite amazing. We'll talk about your YouTube channel in a sec, but before that, how comes a boy born in the middle of nowhere, really, right in the mountains of the Philippines, is now here teaching English to the English? So that, I don't know how you can put a story like that in 2 minutes, but there you go.
Well, actually, the most important part of the story is how my parents really influenced me to read books when I was a young boy. And they just bought us books. My brother and I used to just read anything without even understanding what the words were until our teacher took us to the city for the very first time. That's where I was able to associate the words to the picture, to the scenery. And before, because my world where I live in Bukidnon in the Philippines, which is very far-flung, which is very remote, we only have like water buffaloes, no newspapers, no access to television. But our parents invested in our education to send us to the best school so that we will be able to become who we are and get to our dreams. And we're so thankful for what they have done for all of us.
Where you lived, where you grew up at least, was a remote place. It was far from the city, wasn't it?
It was very far, but you know what's amazing about the place is at the night times when you open your windows, you've got millions of fireflies on every tree, and that gives us such a scenery which is just incredible.
Yeah.
And I would always wanted to live in that kind of place, and being here in England is amazing because it's a dream come true. I never thought that teaching my students in the Philippines how to speak English, I would come into this country and do that too. And I am so privileged that I was given the opportunity and the chance. So I took those chances, I took those opportunities, and now I am here and I'm so blessed.
Yeah, right. We haven't got a vast amount of time, but you must tell us the story. I don't want to give it away. I'll just say to you, the House of Wordsworth. And that should click a story in your head.
Oh yes, when I was teaching in the Philippines, there was no Google yet at that time. We don't have access to internet technology, which we have now. My students and I were discussing about William Wordsworth's I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. And I never had a picture of a daffodil. You know what? The line there which says, a host of golden daffodils. Yeah. That was something we can't imagine how it looked like. So one time, when I came over to England in 2003 for a quick visit, I managed to get to Grasmere and sat on the very hill on Grasmere where millions of daffodils were shown. That's where Wordsworth wrote the poetry and gave him the environment and scenery. I took a video of that and a picture and showed it to my students back in the Philippines, and they said literature was never ever the same again since I came back to teach it that way.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It seems incredible to us that because you don't have daffodils in the Philippines, so that's why they've never seen them. Yeah, and all of these stories, excuse me, all of these stories and a lot more, we can find on your YouTube channel, can't we?
Yes, I am relaunching my YouTube channel, so please join me on my YouTube channel. That is Jess the Cat Network, and I will have so many exciting contents to share to all of you, from my travels across the world and of course how to make life exciting this 2020.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. I know you've got work to do in the other studio, but he's just popped in to see us. How lovely. His show goes out from 9 o'clock until midnight on a Sunday evening, and his YouTube channel covers everything from cooking to, I think he's just about to put one on from Beckworth Emporium, which is a very fascinating place in this area that you can go and see. We need to go back to the music now, Jess, but thank you very much for...
Thank you, it's a pleasure, and all the best to all our Blackcat listeners.